something about this town was just like driving me here. And it really flipped me pretty quickly when I was 18, I think in like a full 180.
That was 111 Minna owner Michelle Delaney. Welcome to Storied San Francisco. I'm your host, Jeff Hunt. All throughout September, we focused on small business owners. Some were revisits with past guests, and some were new to the show, like this episode. We'll meet Michelle and her business partner, Alex Kivelstadt. Both will talk about their lives leading up to their buying 111 Minna from the previous owner. Here's Michelle, followed by Alex.
So my life story started far, far, far away from Minna, and not just the physical being of Minna, but also the idea of Minna. I was raised in St. George, Utah, which is a small town, southern Utah, and I was raised Mormon. So when you're raised Mormon, you don't have idols. You don't look at, golden gods. You don't look at anything. Mm-hmm. Everything that you read, you have to like think about and imagine. You don't have a whole lot of art, right? And same thing when I moved to Irvine. Same thing. Okay, everything's kind of boring.
Real quickly, you said Southern Utah, like the beautiful, insanely immense part of Southern Utah?
Yes,
okay.
Like Zion.
Yes.
Like Bryce Canyon, Snows Canyon. Basically, I was playing in red dirt, breathing that in. Hopefully that did something good for me.
We probably shouldn't talk about it too much because I'm just going to die of envy. I've been a couple times and I love that part of the world.
It was very, very cool. It was very, very cool. And again, I guess back to the, when you have that around, it's beautiful. But when you're kind of in a place that doesn't have an art, you do have to use your imagination a lot, right? And come up with things. And then you move on to Irvine, which, is, I think, a lot less beautiful than southern Utah, right? It's just a lot of houses, just a little bit. Yeah. Very safe, though. Mm-hmm. I think that's why my father moved me there, because I think he Googled. Oh, there's no Google then. He had heard that it was like the safest place in the planet.
Right.
And so, why not go there?
Did you have siblings, or do you have siblings?
I do. I have a brother and 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't meet my sisters till I was 11 when I met my dad. Oh, wow. Anyway, coming from St. George.
Okay.
So then you get into Irvine. Still go to the church. Same thing. You got few pictures of Jesus, but that's about it. And not a whole lot of art or culture. Mm-hmm. I think the most art and culture that I saw down there was maybe Laguna Beach, which, they had the Whalen exhibits, right? He did a lot of dolphins. A lot of whales.
Right.
He was beautiful. It was awesome.
Right.
But that was kind of, about it to my extent of like an art cultural experience.
Did you know about the creative world? Like, did you have an attraction to it? Or is it now, like, looking in hindsight, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I really liked my ceramic class. I did have a ceramic class. I was particularly good at tracing. Like if I looked at something and drawing it, I could do a really good job of copying it. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think. I remember there was a story of Romeo and Juliet in one of my English classes in book, but I still not. There was nothing that crazy came up except for what the United States school system put in front of me to look at.
Right.
And that's what I was supposed to know, right? So I don't think it was until I got older, went to college, went to art history, that I was like, oh my gosh, wow. This is really speaking to me, and this is really helping me to understand just things I didn't know. Right? It was amazing.
A world.
A whole different world.
So your Irvine time was mostly, I'm going to guess suburban.
It was suburban.
Sheltered.
So it was great. It was awesome. I had the best time ever. I had an awesome time. Life was great. I went to the beach. But I had no idea that another world existed.
Okay.
I really literally didn't. I'm all, this is awesome. I just go to the beach and lay out and lay in the sun, and I'm awesome and you're awesome and we're awesome.
That's a life.
Great.
Totally.
It's a life.
You could live,
but it is very sheltered, a very sheltered life.
And I'm sure it's fine for some people, but it wasn't fulfilling for you.
No, I was.
Turns out.
Definitely missing out on a lot.
Okay. And where did you go to college then?
So that didn't happen for a while. Ended up my brother, he was going to state, and he was like, hey, why don't you guys come up here? And I think, I don't think I made this up. I think he did say we need to get you out of the Orange Curtain, you know, because he'd come to San Francisco and discovered this wonderful, amazing city.
So he's the one you have to thank.
Yes.
Do you know what brought him up here?
To state? And to San Francisco in general, I don't know what in the world would make a Southern California person be like, hey, let me go up to Northern California. You know what I mean? It was a whole different world for us.
I think like square pegs kind of thing. Like you get them from up here going down there and you're like, really? We have it all. Why would you leave? But you hear those stories and then they're like, yeah, and then I camped out in wherever.
I knew they had the word hella.
Right.
But that was about all I knew.
Okay.
You know, and you kind of think, okay, well, everyone there is kind of like crunchy and granola, and that's what you think about Northern California.
Right.
You know?
Let's then contrast that with your can we hear about your first time to come up here? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I came up here, I totally freaked out. I was like, oh my God, this place is like crazy and dirty and everything's not the same color. Everything's not painted the same. They let that house be pink. What are you, crazy? Everything's supposed to be brown. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's basketball courts out there. No, it's supposed to be hidden.
And where are the strip malls?
And where's the strip malls? Where's the Chili's? I don't see an Olive Garden for miles.
Well, I could tell you where those are, but that's another story.
I didn't know what to eat. I was confused.
Right.
I was starving because I didn't know what to walk into.
Did you come up first to visit maybe your brother, or did you come up first time to move here?
Well, the first time me and Leslie, so my best friend Leslie, she's like, we both were little like, skater girls together. And so we came up together and to kind of discover it, and we were going to move up together. And so my brother and his girlfriend were going to Europe. And so we went to stay with this girl, Mona, at my brother's house. And we were so scared of her. We thought she was scary. We thought she was mean. We were like, oh my God, can we please order a pizza? And she was already just so livid because apparently she had these Euro techno heads staying in her house that were like driving her nuts. And so we were like, okay, this place is just like scary and crazy. But also, of course, there was still something that was like dragging me here. I mean, I still don't understand why I just didn't go get like a Bev Niner house over in Huntington Beach.
Right.
You know, I could have had, the whole experience, the whole beach experience that I loved. But still, something about this town was just like driving me here. And it really flipped me pretty quickly when I was 18, I think, in like a full 180. I mean, there was just things that I didn't know that I shouldn't be believing in. I mean, I think one of the big things that actually made me kind of like bail on my church was I had met folks from the LGBTQA++ community, and I was like, what have I been missing out on? Having all these wonderful people in my life was just something that I just didn't have in Orange County or in Utah. And I really didn't know any when I was in church, and it wasn't really something that we did, right?
Another world.
It was another
like
world, another awesome
yeah.
world of just lovely, fun, amazing people that I was like, okay, there's something wrong here. If this isn't like accepted in what I'm doing, then maybe I shouldn't accept what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
It just like, it changed me. Mm-hmm. But then it also made me not trust myself because everything that I knew was right and I believed wasn't true anymore.
Right. Your whole belief system
My
was
whole
upended.
belief system upended. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? I was super, super confused.
You mentioned how old you were. I don't want to try to age you now, but roughly when was this?
So I'm
90s, 2000s?
Yeah, no, this was in the 90s.
Okay.
I graduated high school in 93.
Okay.
And then kind of we headed up here at some point there. But San Francisco still was a little scary for me. It was still scary for me. And so I stayed for a little bit, went to City College, and then me and Leslie decided, okay, let's move to Tahoe and snowboard.
Oh, yeah.
We moved to Tahoe to snowboard. Then I moved to Yosemite, and then I moved to Santa Cruz. And then eventually I applied to this art college. What is this?
The one I work
What's
at.
this thing that took all my money?
I work there.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
The Academy of Art.
Yeah, I saw that on your email signature or something, your Google or something. I was like, I wonder what the connection is.
Yeah.
So but you ended up going.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I need to, I really felt that like soundtracks of movies, like I would just get soundtracks of movies like The Mission, and I just listen to it and I just feel really emotional all the time listening to soundtracks of these movies. And I was like, okay, I have to go be in that world because this is something that makes me feel.
I see a treble clef tattoo on your arm. Are you a musician?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I was before I had these children.
Of course.
So yeah, my musicianship.
What do you play?
So I was in a all-girl, well, then we had a boy, girl punk rock band
Called
The Departed.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can give you a little snippet of that too. You can put in the old.
Sure.
And it was super fun. And
Was that up here? Or?
It was in San Francisco. And again, with the flip in San Francisco, I went through so many things that I discovered, like being a skater, a snowboarder, then getting into being a punk rocker. Because since I had left my church and left my religion and left my belief system, I was able to go try to find something else that I accepted me or that made sense.
Right.
And punk rock scene just seemed to be more accepting of people that were wild.
How do we not all know each other? Is what I'm. Anyway, I got here just a little bit after you, but like same worlds. So what like? Let's name drop some venues you guys might have played.
So Covered Wagon
Yep.
was a really big one that we'd hang out every Thursday night. We'd go there and the whole crew. I think there was like 20 or 30 of us. It was awesome that we all just moved together and we'd go there to watch shows and play shows, and it was wonderful. And where else? We'd always go dancing at the Cat Club, 80s night.
1984.
Thursday, yeah, 1984.
Thursdays, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then, I formed the band. And with the band, I was able to, I was really big into Alkaline Trio then. And again, was like just troubled and dark. And my life was a dark room and everything's a dark room. And I need to sing about it and I need to write about it. And it was, just funny kind of just in my early 20s, just discovering who I wanted to be and fighting against the life that the way I was brought up.
Right.
Which, by the way, nobody forced me into the life I was brought up before. I did that all on my own.
Okay.
I chose to go to church on my own. It wasn't like anyone was forcing me to do these things. I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Maybe you weren't provided many alternatives.
No.
It sounded like, going back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so the punk rock scene was a really great house for me and a great outlet for me to be able to express who I was becoming or who I was or all the emotions that I had, because punk rockers are very emotional people.
Absolutely.
It was great.
Yeah. So how long were you doing music?
That was, I guess, mid-20s, early 30s kind of thing. And at the same time, going to the academy, I was making a lot of music videos for people since I was a cinematographer and director. Then obviously that's what I should do. I was like my friends in One Man Army. I was like, hey guys, gonna make a music video for you, and they were terrific. And I don't know why they're like the best band ever, so we need to plug them. And everyone needs to look them up because they're awesome.
One Man Army?
One Man Army.
Okay.
Yes, they're so good. Okay. I was looking for them on Spotify just a couple days ago, listening to some of their stuff and just remembering the old times. Calling my friends like, remember when we just go to One Man Army and swing out our shows and have a great time. So so I was doing that, and then again, just have to repeat how art history was one of the things I think in college that really, really just hit me. I was like, wow, this history makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. This is how I can understand history from this other person's point of view. Because the other history that I was learning in this world, it just didn't really, I was like, what? Okay, whatever. So then I was putting myself through college by bartending across the street at Steph's here. Oh, yeah. And there was this place over here, 111 Minna Gallery. And I would, they would come over there and drink. I would sneak over here, and it was just so much different. It was like dark and loud and music, and it was neat, and all this stuff going on, and the art shows. It was a big techno dance scene then.
Right. So this is like early 2000s now, right? Or
yeah.
Oh.
Early 2000s. And what everyone, I think, people just, don't know about me is like, I maybe was in a punk rock scene at that time, but I am just a huge lover of all music. I mean, I love music, you know, it can be country, it can be techno, it can be hip hop, I just really enjoy it all. So it's hard for me to always say, okay, well, this is my armor. This is what I'm wearing to protect myself and to fit in. But I also kind of want to fit in with all these other things too.
Right.
And Minna, I think, gave me an opportunity to do that, because here it wasn't like, oh, it's just a punk rock club, or oh, it's just a techno club. You know, I was able to be like, okay, we can invite anyone down to play.
Right.
And I get to enjoy it. I get to enjoy the fruits of my labor because, you know, I get to have it all here. And then the art on the walls, the art on the walls, the art on the walls. That has been something that has changed my life, and I can't actually imagine now living this second half of my life without it. And I wonder if living the first half of my life without it was good for me or not. So now when I have, you know, like my kids, and they live in a different world than I did, you know, There's a lot of art, there's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of discussion around art, which I think it makes it easier to discuss topics and what's going on in the world and political views. So I think it's really, really important, and it has also made just my experience here at 111 Minna Gallery I don't want to brag or sound boastful, but like I feel so spoiled. I feel so lucky. I feel so blessed. I feel just like this place has given me so much. And I look forward to anytime I'm here. So
if I'm not mistaken, you got a job bartending here first? Or
yeah.
Let's do that quickly, and then we'll go over to him.
So I was bartending across the street, and luckily the bar manager here, Bethia, you know, she thought I was pretty great, and so she was like, hey, you got to come over, you know, come work at Minna. And to be honest, it was nice to come in here and just be able to like dance to music and party and have fun and take shots and serve drinks, and you know, and again, it was very different because across the street it was kind of like more like you're talking to the locals and
a bar.
It's like a bar,
and
right?
a little bit like a worker bar.
Exactly,
for this area.
Yeah, the electricians, you know. So it was cool to know everyone in the neighborhood and to know me and like, you know, and talk and stuff. But it was also neat to be in a whole different scene.
Nice. And when would that have been that you started here?
I think around 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
20-ish years ago.
Yeah.
Let's switch to Alex then. Okay, so you're from here.
I am from here.
I don't use that word that starts with you. I've been told not to, and I agree with that. It's like, it's just fucking normal. Why would, you know?
I mean, it's one of those things where everyone says like, oh, I've never met anyone like that. I'm like, I know so many people like that. It's crazy.
Yes.
Let's
hear that story.
So none of my immediate family is from here.
Okay.
My parents both grew up on the East Coast, around New York. They moved to Texas at some point.
Where in Texas?
Dallas.
I'm from Fort Worth.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, my brother was born in Dallas.
So, like your parents, fucking leave that place.
Yeah, no, it was awful.
Yes,
that's why they left. They were like, we're done with the East Coast, so they moved to Texas.
Yes.
And then they were there for a little bit. My mom is a lawyer, and she was the only female partner in her law firm, and she was like, I am done with these people.
Yes.
So they moved to California, where they knew basically no one.
They moved straight to San Francisco, or
straight to San Francisco.
To the city.
Oh yeah, to the city. In '86, I want to say.
Do you know if it was a job, your mom's job, or?
I think my dad got a job here.
Okay.
He was working for American Airlines in Texas, and then got a job with some other group out here.
Okay.
And my mom was basically like, I'll get a job wherever we go because I'm awesome. So they moved out here. They got jobs, and they ended up starting their own company, actually, shortly after that. But, so I was born here.
What part of the city?
So I grew up mostly in Pack Heights.
Okay.
With a very different reality from Michelle.
Right.
So I was brought up Jewish, but in the very reformed version, where, like, they're kind of cool with everything. And I abandoned that pretty quickly because I was like, nah, this isn't for me. I also went to a Catholic school, so that was also... Being a Jew at a Catholic school is not a good time.
Just bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of ideology that clashes and other stuff. Yeah. So I grew up in the city. I went to Stewart Hall for K through 8. Then I went to the urban school in the Haight for high school.
Okay.
And went east for college outside of Boston and found my way back.
What was it like to leave?
It was great. I needed a break.
Okay.
Not necessarily from the city, but I kind of wanted to experience something else.
Right.
So luckily, my family is very big on travel.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a lot of crap for this, but like I've never been to Disneyland because that's just not what my parents wanted to do.
Okay.
So when we went on trips, we went to Europe, we went to South America, we went to culturally significant places.
You didn't go to Epcot. You went to the places that are in
Yes.
Epcot.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So in that way,
I can dig
I
that.
was a wee bit spoiled in that respect.
Yeah.
Because that was my parents basically like, if they had any money, they were like, we're going to take you guys somewhere.
Fucking
So
awesome.
and my parents are very big in terms of art collectors.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very much into Impressionists.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had art around me growing up.
Okay.
I don't think I appreciated it as much because I was a kid and I was rebelling against my parents. And I was like, screw this fantastic art. It's not for me.
Right. What kind of stuff were you into?
I was, and still am, I'm a very big gamer.
Okay.
And reader. So at the time when I was a kid, I was very into writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was blending all those things together. I was making games. I was writing.
Writing like fiction or?
Fiction.
Okay.
Sci-fi, fantasy. And that's what I thought I was going to do when I grew up.
Did you go to school for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, I went to a small liberal arts college on the East Coast that had I was told, a very good creative writing program by a person who told me about it.
Was it the same person who was like, and now just sign your check over?
Not quite the same, but she was an alum, and she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, the program I've heard is great. I was like, sure, totally going to be that way. It was not. It was a very small program. I had lots of issues with it. Kind of killed my love of writing.
Yeah. But at least you said you enjoyed being away. So
Yeah, no, it was a great time.
Yeah.
I met some fantastic people and generally enjoyed my time there.
Cool.
It was nice to be doing something different. Plus my brother had gone to school in Boston and he was staying out there for a couple years after college. So when I was in college, he was graduated and up 45 minutes away.
Nice.
So that's where our relationship basically got formed because he's a bit older than I am. So like we didn't really interact when I was growing up.
Right. As a kid here, before you left to go out there, did you like spend much time in the mountains or?
Yeah. So my family is really big into skiing.
So winter was not a brand new thing for you?
No. I spent a lot of time in the snow.
Okay, got it.
So like I was definitely that Californian that everyone was surprised at. I was like in flip-flops and a t-shirt out in the snow, being like, this is fine.
Yeah.
I'm used to this.
I mean, it is different there.
Oh yeah.
It's not mountains.
No, it's flat and cold and icy.
Yeah, and those fucking storms.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely had some issues with my car out there for a while.
Right.
I was like, I have to actually dig this thing out now. This is great.
Oh, and what is it? Snow shoveling? Did you do? Yeah. Okay. You came back though.
I did.
So why? What brought you back?
So there's a couple things. One, I graduated from college in 2009, which was right in the beginning of the last economic crisis. Right. So there were no jobs.
Okay.
And at least what I was looking to do, especially in and around Boston, because I had a lot of friends there, I was like, maybe I'll stay. And didn't really find anything. So I ended up moving back. And through connections, I ended up in tech.
Okay.
Because I love games. I was like, that could be a thing. I could try that. So I worked in tech for about 10 years.
Gaming tech or? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here in the city or?
Started down the peninsula and then migrated back to the city. And I was in the city for the last 4 or 5 years of tech.
Did you live in San Francisco?
Yeah, I lived up here the whole time.
Okay.
So I commuted down the peninsula for a couple of years, and then I got sick of that, and I tried to find a job in the city. Luckily, I had some friends who were at various companies here, got into their places of work, and did that for a while. I actually ended up working in and around Minna. So my last job was next door.
Okay.
And the job before that was 2 blocks down.
Convenient.
And the job before that was 2 blocks that way. So
Very convenient.
I was always around Minna, and I was coming through for cocktails or coffee or just like a place to hang out for a minute while I was waiting to do something else. So it was kind of interesting that my world was kind of like slowly orbiting and like coming in for a collision course.
Like those things at the museum? Like the ball.
Like the drain. You're just like watching it
Yeah.
slowly wind down.
Before we get you actually here, so that time coming back from Boston and having all the different jobs, where did you live? What kind of things did you do when you weren't working?
Sure.
Going out, restaurant.
Yeah.
Venues,
So
whatever.
I was first in Twin Peaks, Then I was in the Outer Richmond, Outer Sunset. And then found my way to the Inner Richmond, which is where I live now. Spent a lot of time in and around all over the city. I didn't get around the city as much when I was a kid for a number of reasons. The city was just different back then. Yeah. And I've definitely explored a lot more of it now that I have friends that live all over the city. But going out to eat, going to shows and things is something I really enjoy. So I've done a lot of that over the years. Food is a very big part of my family, food and drink. So doing a lot of that. Luckily, I have a lot of friends that enjoy that too. So definitely very into the restaurant scene.
What's left of it?
Well, yeah, that's true. Some will hopefully survive.
Right.
A quarter of them maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's been really depressing. Like the place that I grew up going to for dim sum just closed.
Tonkyang, yeah.
I remember going there as like a 2 or 3 year old and like taking the checkup and running the the press across the
master
card.
charge. Yeah. Totally.
That used to be one of the things that I did there.
Fun. Fuck.
But yeah, I literally my first memories in San Francisco are going to Tonkyang.
Damn.
Actually, their other spot that they had closer to Masonic on Geary.
Okay.
And then that one closed, and then going to the one out on Geary and 23rd.
Right.
And then
Rip Tonkyang.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about
how we got here.
How you got in.
Sure.
Here.
So it's kind of a weird thing. I quit tech in end of 2017.
Okay.
I kind of got sick of the culture and the community inside the companies I was at.
Do you want to talk about that culture? You don't have to.
Basically, I can give the TLDR. I didn't think that the people running the companies respected the people they employed and also weren't enforcing the rules that were important to keep people safe.
Okay.
So I very much was one of those people that if I saw something that I thought that should change, I was very vocal about in these companies. And the executives did not like that so much. And I watched a lot of things happen that shouldn't have. And a lot of people get promoted or fired who shouldn't have.
Right.
And finally I was very unhappy. And I knew that it wasn't my job to necessarily have to worry about those things, but I couldn't separate my experience at work from the reality of what everyone else was experiencing there.
Right.
So
sounds like a good thing to leave.
Yeah, it's actually been a really nice change of pace.
Okay, so that was the end of 2017,
Yeah.
You said. Okay.
And then beginning of 2018, I got introduced to Michelle, who I didn't know much about at the time because I'd been to Minna, but I hadn't met any of the people here other than the coffee guys. And Michelle was very much just one of those people who was like, "Oh, you want to help?" And I was like, "Sure." And she was like, "Here's all this stuff. Help me." And I was like, "Okay, I don't know much about this, but I can learn."
Right.
So I just started in 2018 helping with the financials, helping with the bar, helping with basically anything that Michelle was like, "Hey, I need this. Can you help?" And I was like, "Sure." So I spent 5 or 6 months in 2018 just helping out, just trying to solve a lot of the functional problems here at Minna and or difficulties, I should say. And then through a series of situations, I was at the time trying to convince Michelle to buy out Ming, who is the original founder of Minna.
Okay.
And that kind of wasn't happening. And then through a conversation with my dad, actually, because I'd been doing this for 6 months, he was like, "Well, why don't you do it?" And I was like, "I hadn't even thought about that." I was like, "What do you mean? You want me to own a bar? An art gallery? What?" There's a backstory to that. My brother tried to open up a bar right after college, and my parents told him it was the worst idea he could possibly do. So, historically in my brain, I was like, owning a bar is a terrible idea. And
have you talked to your therapist about any of this? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. Rehashed.
Yeah. Well, no, it's sometimes stuff is so obvious that you miss it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And I tend to be more risk averse than some people. So it would never have crossed my mind to be like, "Oh yeah, I should totally invest in this business and make it my life." And I think that's the other thing is I didn't realize what I was signing up for when I did it. Because it took us, I think, because Michelle was she was flying out to Ireland to hang out with her husband's family. And I kind of just dropped it on her. I was like, "Well, what if I do this?"
That was Alex Kivelstadt and Michelle Delaney. On the next episode of Storied San Francisco, Alex and Michelle will tell the story of buying the cafe/bar/art gallery, and they'll talk about what they've been doing since shelter in place was enacted in March. Please join us for part 2 this Thursday. Music for Storied San Francisco is by Otis McDonald. Photography is by Michelle Kilfeather. The show is hosted and produced by me. Michelle and I have produced more than 120 episodes over the last 3 years, and you can find them all over at our website, storiedsf.com. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as just about everywhere you can listen to podcasts. Please subscribe to stay up to date on all the content we publish. And if you have any feedback for us, or you just want to say hi, our email is storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay strong, stay safe, and stay healthy.
This podcast is a proud member of the BFF.FM podcast network. Learn more at podcast.bff.fm.
BFF.FM, best frequencies forever.